Hey! Welcome to the Missing Elements Remix Show. I am Tyree coming to you live from the Missing Elements Shop here in Lexington, Kentucky, 1018 East New Circle Road. I just totally forgot where I was at. 1018 East New Circle Road, Suites 114 and 112. Thank you, Renee, for sharing me out. And that is in Lexington, Kentucky. 40505. Since I totally screwed that up, let me start that over. We are coming to you live from the Missing Elements Shop. Hit 1018 East New Circle Road. Suites 114 and 112. Lexington, Kentucky. 40505. Hoo-hoo. Great job, me. Go me, go me, go me, go me. First off, next month is November. And November 15th and 16th, we will be at the Central Kentucky Mystical Market. And that's at 1165 Center Parkway. And this event is getting bigger and bigger almost every weekend. So come out and check us out. I know I will be there. The Spirit Mechanics will be there. Rocky Hound should be there. Druzy Does It is coming back to the Mystical Market. She will be there in November. She has cool rocks. Deb has cool rocks. Everybody has cool stuff. And I'll start doing more advertisements for the Mystical Market when I get myself recovered from this past weekend, which I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody who attended Scarefest 17. It was one awesome event. It was great. And just so you know, we've already got dates for next year. In March, Sacred Journey Market is having their light market. And that is March 28th and 29th. That's going to be at the Holiday Inn Suites. Holiday Inn and Suites in the Convention Center at 4501 Eastgate Boulevard. And that is March 28th and 29th, 2026. Also, they plan on having a dark market September 19th and 20th of next year. These girls do kick ass with their events. So put those dates on your calendar and come see us in Cincinnati. They have already announced Scarefest Weekend 18. And that's going to be October 23rd through the 25th. And that's at the Central Bank Center in Lexington, Kentucky, downtown. So they've already started planning the big event, the big party next year. Actually, I think they had the date set the day after this event, which is totally awesome. But also, coming in June, on the 5th and 7th, they're going to be having Spawn of Scarefest. And that's going to be at the Marriott Griffin Gate in Lexington. So it's going to be a smaller event than the regular Scarefest weekend. I don't know how small, but I think they're still planning on having their celebrities. They're still planning on having on their vendors. So it ought to be fun. Also, November 7th and 9th, November 7th and 9th. Spirit Mechanics will be having their 100 series classes here at the shop and online. And that is on the 7th, they're going to have the 101 class for connectivity. On the 9th, they're going to have the 102 and 103 class, which is the auric movement and the mindset. These are some awesome classes. I've been through these classes I don't know how many times, and I've learned something new about them every time. And you can find that on spiritmechanics.com. Go to shop and they should be listed there. Like I said, those classes are in person and online. Is that all the events I got? Oh yeah, November 1st and 2nd. The Ross Theater in Cynthiana is going to be having a zombie marathon. A zombie movie marathon. If I remember correctly, it starts at 8 p.m. and that is the Ross Theater in Cynthiana. And I'm not sure how long it's going to last. I don't think they know how long it's going to last. But that is November 1st and 2nd. Go down, check out the Ross, go see a movie or two, go have fun. Because that is one nice theater. I love that theater. It's totally awesome. Okay, anything else? Oh, yeah, guys. I totally forgot that. Yes. If my wonderful producer will pull the picture up, I completed my task. You all shot a live for me over 300 views. And me and my little buddy Jacob, which I dragged into this without meaning to, went and stood and got our picture taken with Annabelle. And just so you guys know, she's cool. She laughed at us the whole time we were there. She knew why we were there. She knew I lost a bet and had to get my picture taken with her. But she was cool. Speaking of Annabelle, the Warren Museum, check it out. I have heard rumors that I've heard that they are going to move all the Warren stuff that is in technically a museum type setting right now in their home to a different location so that people can go see it anytime they want to during the day. So check out that because they have awesome stuff. The people that was with the museum on the road would talk to people, tell them about the experiences with the items, and explain stuff about them. The Warren Museum was cool. I actually like it. Annabelle was actually pretty sweet. I had no problems with her. But you got your picture. Anything else? Okay, whoa. Yes, Renee, those classes are awesome. Hey, Ryan. Everybody should take this 100 series classes. The 200 series classes are just as awesome as the 100 series classes, but you got to have the 100 series classes before you take the 200 series classes. And the 300 series classes is totally awesome. So, as I keep moving, I keep something flashing behind me. So if you all will excuse me for just one split second. My workstation behind me was getting caught up in the picture. I had to close my computer. So, hey Ryan, did you guys recover from this past weekend? Because I know I'm still tired and I wasn't even a vendor there. Yes, Scarefest was totally awesome. So, tonight's topic, the Salem Witch Trials. And I'm going to put the disclaimer out here. Some of this in this article, or some of this in this stuff is very disturbing. And this is an 18 plus show, because my mouth will probably go haywire. Ooh, I'm in a forest that is pretty. Okay, I'm in a locust grove. It's pretty.
Represents the Salem Witch Trial victims.
Ah, I didn't know that. The Lotus Grove represents the Salem Witch Trial. Salem Witch Trials victims. Did I say that right?
You did.
Okay. So, also, and I seen an important thing. It doesn't matter what gender. A witch is a witch. You have female witches and you have male witches. It doesn't matter. We're all the same. Ryan says she slept yesterday and she feels better. April has the con crud. And Renee came back with, that is true. The museum is apart. The Warren House. The town shut down the museum years ago because of being in a residential area. It will be a great move for them. Yes, it will. As long as they keep it going like they did with the tour and they actually explain stuff, explain the information about the items in the museum, it's going to be very educational and it's going to be a great visit. I might have to go actually visit it. But no, I will not get another picture taken with Annabelle. Even though she's okay, she's cool. She didn't cause me any problems. So, Salem Witch Trials, guys. We've heard all about them. It's a series of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of witchcraft in colonial Massachusetts. This started in January 1692 and did it end in 1693?
Yes.
And ended in May 1693. And this is colonial America's most notorious cases of mass hysteria, in which how did it all begin? It all started in the Salem Village, which is now Danvers, Massachusetts. Okay, I just got Renee telling me a wild tower in Connecticut. Oh, Coke to my state for a visit. I think she meant to say come to my state for a visit. Hey, I just might, you never know. Cause I have other plans on the side other than this that's gonna, I might start traveling some more. Or I might start traveling more. So, Denver, Massachusetts. That used to be Salem?
Yeah.
Wait, if I remember correctly, wasn't Salem like two different villages?
I believe so.
So, But all this shit started when, 18 plus show. Sorry guys. When the daughter and niece of Reverend Samuel Parris, Elizabeth Betty Parris, age 9, and Abigail Williams, age 11, began having fits, violent contortions, and uncontrollable outbursts. You want my honest opinion? That just sounds like kids with seizures or some major ADHD problems. But I wasn't there, so I can't tell you. But in February of that year, a local doctor concluded that the girls were suffering from bewitchment. Under pressure, the girls named 3 women as their tormentors: Titubia, an enslaved Caribbean woman in the Paris household; Sarah Good, a homeless beggar; and Sarah Osborne, an elderly, impoverished woman. So honestly, that makes me sound like they were forced to condemn these 3 people. In which I'm not 100% sure. But the enslaved Caribbean woman, Titubia, was actually trying to teach the girls some stuff about spirituality. That was the reason why she got narked on as number 1. In March of that year, the 3 accused women were interrogated. Tibia confessed after likely coerced, describing elaborate images and claiming other witches were in the community, which set the seeds for widespread panic. Honestly, she was false. I think she was falsely accused. They coerced her into confessing that she was, and basically, she just started pointing fingers at anybody and everybody. Oops, wrong button was hit. Sorry about that, guys. And there I am again. I gotta show me off. So, that set the seeds for the widespread panic. Accusations quickly spread to other prospective members of the community, like Rebecca Nurse and Martha Corey. In May of 1692, with the jails basically overrunning with the suspects, newly appointed Governor William Phipps ordered the establishment of a special court, the Court of Oer Intimidator, which means to hear and to determine to handle the cases. We're back on me and Annabelle picture-wise. As much as I like Annabelle, I don't want to sit here and look at her. So they were, in May, they were coming up with a special court setting because all these suspects were in jail. They had to get them tried. And so in June, the court convened, and Bridget Bishop was the first person tried and convicted and hanged on what became known as Gallows Hill in Salem Town. Could you imagine? I can't imagine. Because honestly, the first person tried, convicted, and hanged. All three. And then the summer and fall of 1692 saw the trials and executions continue with devastating intensity. The court heavily relied on spectral evidence. They didn't have any true evidence. They had no real evidence for these people. Testimony that the accused spirit or specter was sent to torment the victims. Honestly, how do you gotta prove that? All these people on trial because somebody opened their mouths. Hey, wait, that sounds like some stuff nowadays, too, don't it? In September 1692, the last and largest group of hangings occurred. It also included the tortured death of Giles Corey, an elderly man who was pressed to death under heavy stones after refusing to enter a plea that preventing his property from being legally seized. See, that's the whole thing. You confess to being a witch, they take your property and leave you homeless. If he wasn't a witch, then why should he confess? And they try to coerce him into confessing, so they crushed him. Actually, it's my understanding that they tied him to a board, set a board on top of him, and started putting stones on top of him, on top of the top board. And he still would not confess to being a witch. I give it to that man. But in October, mounting criticism, especially from ministers, and the accusation of prominent individuals, including the governor's own wife, led Governor Phipps to disband the court and prohibition of the use of spectral evidence. In 1963. Yeah, that would be about the time we had segregation here. And that's basically what we're talking about. In 1693, the crisis waned. A new court, the Superior Court of Justiciar, two big words. I guess I'm still tired. Was formed and did not allow spectral evidence. Most of the remaining accused were found not guilty or released. Okay, over 200 people were accused of witchcraft during this time. A freaking year. 200 people. And in the end, 19 people, 14 women, and 5 men were hanged. One man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death, and at least 5 others died in jail from the harsh conditions. That's not talk. That's not. This doesn't even convey the stuff that these people had to go through. They were dunking people into water, trying to get them to confess. Basically, threatening to drown them if they didn't confess. I think the rule was that if you got put in the water, if you didn't come back up, you weren't a witch, and if you came back up, you were a witch. That's what I always heard. So, I mean, what these people went through over all these accusations. Now, in 1697, the Massachusetts General Court ordered a public day of fasting and prayer in atonement for the errors of the trials. One of the presiding judges, Samuel Swell, publicly apologized for his role. Honestly, and I'm giving my honest opinion, how do you atone for this? I mean, honestly, how do you atone for this? You've got all these people that basically went to jail over stuff that you can't prove left or right. Some are hung. One man was pressed to death. How do you honestly atone for it? I mean, speaking of what I've learned in church, that if you accept wholeheartedly of your God and Savior and Jesus, you're atoned. You'll get into heaven. So which means I could walk out of here, go kill somebody tonight, go to jail, and atonement, get atoned, and get out. I honestly don't think that works because this stuff sticks with you. Sorry. So, in the 1700s, the colony began to officially apologize and grant restitution to the victims' families. Although the process took decades to complete, it took a year for all this to go down, and it takes decades for restitution. Honestly, how many kids were without a mother because of this? Or a father? Or both? How many kids became orphans because of this? So, I mean, ooh, sorry. The contributing factors into all of this, stupid hysteria, which is, the historians are pointing out, to a combination of factors that fueled the panic. One is the strong Puritan religious beliefs. I have no clue about what the Puritan belief system is. That is one belief system I have not studied. But it is said that they have a persuasive belief in the devil's ability to operate in the world through witches, making them highly susceptible to fears of the supernatural. So, what does that mean? The devil talks to somebody, he persuades them into doing this shit. That's what it sounds like. But at the same token, if you had that kind of belief system, why are you going to talk to the devil? But a part of this is also the fact that the colony was under a political upheaval following the revocation of its charter in 1684, creating a sense of legal and social uncertainty. The historians also believe that local conflicts and tensions also played a part. There was an intense rivalry rivalry between the more agrarian Salem village, where the accusations began, and the prosperous Salem town. Factional disputes over land and the controversial minister Samuel Parris created a toxic environment. So honestly, well, my opinion, it's one group against another. The one group wanted the other people's land. So it all started there. In which Samuel Parris needs to be investigated. I want to know what his family got out of the deal. Regional anxiety could have also been contributed to the issues, with ongoing conflicts with the Native American tribes, which was also known as King William's War, smallpox epidemics, and other hardships that created all this. Well, one, they shouldn't have been fighting with the Native Americans because they shouldn't have taken their land because we weren't supposed to be here. And why was the widespread fear and suspicion also contributed to the including the use of spectral evidence? The acceptance of spectral evidence by the court of Oyer and Timonir allowed accusers to provide testimony that was impossible to disprove, effectively guaranteeing convictions. Okay, I like how that is worded here. Impossible to disprove. But it's also impossible to prove. It's one word, it's one person's word against another person's word. I mean, you've got people being accused because they're trying to help their community. How many of these people that were accused work with herbs for medicine? I mean, honestly, people were being accused of all this stuff. And like I said, we see this stuff today. We have not really learned from past mistakes. So, here is a list of names of the people that were accused. Were these people accused? And here's a list of the people whose lives were taken in the trials. Bridget Bishop. She was the first. On July 19th in 1692, Sarah Good, Elizabeth Howe, Susanna Martin, Rebecca Nurse, Sarah Wilds. Okay, with the name Rebecca Nurse, she was just a person trying to help. She probably was not even remotely into witchcraft. On August 19th, 1692, Reverend George Burroughs. How did a reverend get put on this list? Martha Carrier, George Jacobs Sr., John Proctor, John Willard. Wait, John Proctor, didn't his wife get accused too? I'm not seeing her name on here. John Willard. September 22nd, 1692. Martha Corey, Mary Easty, Alice Parker, Mary Parker, Anne Pudeter, Wilmot Reed, Margaret Scott, Samuel Wardwell. Executed by pressing one person, that was Giles Corey, He died on September 19th, 1692, after being pressed to death with heavy stones for refusing to enter a plea. Died in prison, which there is at least 5 people that died in prison for harsh conditions while awaiting trial. Those people are Lydia Dustin, Ann Foster, Sarah Osborne, Roger Toothaker, and the infant child of Sarah Good, who was born in prison and died there. In total, over 200 people were accused and over 30 were found guilty. But the trials were stopped by Governor William Phipps, preventing further executions. You know why? Why did he do that? The whole town could have been killed. Sorry, that is just my opinion. But they let an infant die in prison. So, honestly, guys, on Halloween, on the eve of Halloween, I would actually light a candle for these people. I really would. Because this is a shame. And what's really shameful is that we're back into this. But I'm not talking politics. All it takes is one person to say something negative about somebody and it snowballs out of totally. You know, if you can't say something nice, don't talk. We don't need to try to be talking about negative stuff about other people, about other groups of people. If you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all about them. I mean, there's lots of people that I could talk negative about, but I'm choosing not to. If I don't like somebody, I don't talk to them. I won't communicate with them. I have nothing to prove. Honestly, karma's a bitch and she'll come back and bite you in the ass. So whatever you spread about somebody, you'll get spread something worse about you. And that's all I have for tonight, I think. Because I've really got myself in a depressed mood. I really need to go and try to do something fun. So, remember, Spirit Mechanics 100 classes are November 7th and 9th. You can find more information about those classes at spiritmechanics.com. You can also sign up. Those are in person and online. And if you think that you can't do it online, you can. I've done it online. Also, November 15th and 16th. Woo. Central Kentucky Mystical Market. That's at 1165 Center Parkway. I will be there. Spirit Mechanics will be there. Druzy Does It will be back. Rocky Hounds will be there. All the other great vendors will be there. Like I said, I will start doing commercials for the other vendors as soon as I recover from this past weekend at Scarefest. Also, Keep an eye out for Sacred Journey Market. 2 events next year. That is March 28th and 29th and September 19th and 20th. Scarefest Weekend 18 has already been decided on, and that's October 23rd through the 25th. Spana Scarefest, which is June 5th and 7th, 5th through the 7th. And that one's at Marriott Griffin Gate. So be looking out for more information on those. They won't start technically giving out a lot of information on those events until the beginning of the year. So go to scarefestradio.com. I think Scarefest Radio is on Facebook. They will start making all their special announcements beginning at the beginning of the year. You guys have a good week. Wait. Next week is the end of the month. So, I'll see y'all next week for card readings. Y'all have a good week. Love you guys and bye.